go to Pound Town for like.
Yeah, it's like you order 5.
The Red Line,
like small
Atomic Rhino.
Yeah.
She does well there though. Dude, should we go to the store?
Dude, I'm crying.
You can take it with you.
Yeah, you can take it.
Get in there.
It's just ammonia salts. Here, take a whiff.
It is not possible.
Whoa.
My name is Eric, and I'm the singer of Heart Attack Man. Put the money in the bag! Put the money in the bag! That's weird. You know, I can't trust any of these K Erics out here. If you got a CK, just get out of my sight. I don't want anything to do with you. I don't trust you. I never will.
I'm Tyler Sickles. I play guitar in Heart Attack Man from Cleveland, Ohio.
My name is Adam. I play drums.
We are in the warehouse district of Cleveland, Ohio. Beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, might I add. December is a miserable time of year in Cleveland, but you know, for better or for worse, it's definitely shaped how we are and who we are as people and as a band.
Oh, I'm gonna go. Coming up in an area like this, you naturally kind of have a chip on your shoulder. You have to find a way to get things done on your own. You have to find other people who have that same vision as you, who are willing to put in the extra work to make it happen.
But where we are is in this weird sort of like warehouse, our evil lair, our hideout, our top secret hideout.
We want to print all of our own merch, which really comes down to us having the skills. Why would we pay more money to someone else to do the things that we can do?
We're paying ourselves rather than paying a third party and other people to do stuff for us, so we can just do ourselves and do it the way that we want to do it. We're going to be doing a lot of screen printing, mostly for ourselves and for the band and for the clothing company. And also just doing some merch fulfillment for other bands and for ourselves as well. So yeah, it's just our merch warehouse. We have a lot of work to do, but we're on a good path with it right now for sure. This is just one of those things where there's always stuff to do and it's never going to be completely finished, you know? It's like a never-ending group project, just like a band is, you know?
So the name of the record is Freak of Nature. It all kind of started with the title track of the record, Freak of Nature. I'm a freak of nature! And actually wrote that song with Nick Wheeler from All American Rejects. But, you know, I told him then, I was like, yeah, I've never done this before. Are you kidding? It's the All American Rejects, like, goated. But something about it to me just kind of spoke to me that I'm like, this is like sort of a new era of the band, and it seems like a proper jumping off point to sort of like the spark that kicks off the next project. And it's like kind of reassessing it all, reassessing high school, post high school, like right after high school, early 20s, all that. It's like I've always felt this kind of like this ever-present feeling of just feeling like a fucking freak. Like whether or not it's all in my head or not, it's like that's just kind of, I've had this ever-present feeling of just like anxiety and dread that I'm like, fuck, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, what am I doing? Part of that is embracing it, being like, you know what? I like don't belong here, and that's okay because I belong over here, and you find your purpose and your place and all that. I kinda like the way they're staring at me, like I'm somewhere I shouldn't be. Let me try it. I'll just try it real quick.
You can try going, shouldn't, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you can sing into it if you want to.
I'll try that. Right. Like I'm somewhere I shouldn't be.
be. I'll try it again. Like I'm somewhere I shouldn't be. Maybe just like you were doing before, like sing into it, but like try to save 100% for B.
Okay.
B. Can you like give it some balls? B.
Bay.
B. B. B.
How's that?
The Littlest Aaron.
Green hits goofball. Green hits.
Love Aaron. My name is Aaron. I go by Lil Aaron. I'm an artist, songwriter, producer, vibe curator. I dropped out of high school, so it's not some formal education, but I've had really dope people around me. I kind of just learned in the studio, being around amazing producers and being around amazing artists and kind of seeing how they achieve their goals and how they, create their music and being like, okay, I can cherry pick this and apply it to my process, and having a bouncing board of people I can play records for. They're like, oh, that's good, or that fucking sucks. The main reason I wanted to work with Heart Attack, man, is they're my favorite band right now. Spending a couple weeks in December in Cleveland, yeah, kind of sucks, but being able to like just kick it with my homies, it's kind of like a breath of fresh air from like what I do on a day-to-day basis when I'm in LA, because a lot of that's working with, all different types of artists, and some of them are friends and some of them are colleagues or coworkers, but these guys I really consider like good homies, so that's a big part of it. I mean, I love the music, and I think when I first fell in love with their music, I really saw the vision of where they were and where they could be, and I just had a feeling of like, I feel like I can help them go all the way.
We met on Twitter and just kind of interacted a little bit, and then eventually we were just like DMing back and forth a little bit, and he brought up like we should write together someday. I was like, yeah, that'd be cool. And it's like, if it doesn't work, if we don't vibe well together, whatever, you don't have to use these songs, whatever.
He came back and he was like, Aaron's awesome. They really locked in with each other. It seemed like, he came back from that first trip glowing about it, and the songs that he was sending us were all so good. This instant earworms.
What if we could just get you hungover without you getting drunk?
I gotta shoot piss out of my cock.
Hey, my penis is horny.
I mean, me and Eric are the same type of like chronically online, mentally ill people.
Like I said, the guy's a goofball, I'm a goofball. The goofballs find each other. We get along really well and we have a lot of similarities, but we're not the same. It's like the man smokes more weed than virtually anyone I know, and I've never smoked weed in my life.
I don't know. Eric might have a better answer for how we first met. I don't have the best memory.
In the studio, it's been awesome. It's the most excited I've been to release our music, and it's not even mixed yet. When we were on the way home from the studio last night, I was just real with him. I was just talking to Aaron. I was like, dude, thanks again for just like being a part of this and being down to, because it's like, he does all kinds of stuff and it works with plenty of artists and plenty of bigger artists doing bigger things, but he's like, this is like fun and fulfilling for him. He's like, dude, I want to be here. I want to be doing this.
There's a lot of records that I've worked on where you can kind of achieve everything but the vocals from within a laptop, and you can create all the sounds you need, or sample or whatever it is. Being involved with a project where like 90% of what you're hearing is stuff is like real instruments being played, whether that's the guitars, the bass, the drums, the vocals. That is kind of a departure from some of the other music I've worked on, but that's also why I was so excited to work on this project, is that it's a rock album. It's real, like you can feel it.
He's gone so far as to come to fucking Cleveland, Ohio in December and sleep on an air mattress in my apartment for 3 weeks.
Where's Aaron? Show him upstairs.
He's upstairs. He's very hungover himself.
How you feeling?
A little rough. I like
woke up and the air mattress was just like fully on the ground.
Dude.
So I just moved onto the couch, the tiny little couch.
I think there's like an emo night next Saturday or something, or
Where?
Friday.
At Corky's?
No, at man.
Oh, I was like, holy
and
fuck.
he's gonna do a guest DJ set.
God damn it, am I gonna have to go to an emo night
I mean,
now?
you don't have to.
No, I have to if Aaron's gonna be there, dude.
I mean,
also, the best part of the night was over the announcements, they were like, we don't forget we have food, we have crunch wraps, and Aaron just turns around and just goes, I want one! I want one! Like, that's how we ordered it.
Dude,
I would say working with Lil Aaron just kind of, it just gives us a different perspective on things. Somebody who's not like in a punk band or in a rock band, who has worked with, you know, giant pop stars and musicians and stuff. So just a different perspective on things that we've only ever worked with, like people who are in punk bands or stuff like that. So it just definitely gives a different perspective on songwriting and also just like everything in the music industry, you know? It's just a different lane. So that's been cool for sure.
Yeah, just having, it's like a checks and balances system, you know, with the judicial and the legislative and executive branch, you know, it's the same kind of thing when you're in the studio. You got the band. I might have some harebrained idea for a guitar part, but I need the legislative branch to be like, no, don't do that. Or like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, let's move that on.
Every other band that we know, like they're going to like more conventional producers, but then, you know, working with somebody like Lil Aaron, when you tell people that, it's like, okay, like what's that going to be like? It's like people are immediately kind of interested in it because it's outside of the box.
My name is Steve Perino. I'm an audio engineer here in Cleveland, Ohio.
First things first, Steve Perino is awesome.
I've been working with Steve since I was like 18 years old.
So yeah, we're here in Cleveland, Ohio, specifically the Little Italy neighborhood. We don't really have a name for the studio. It's just kind of like me and a couple buddies, like personal spot, like shared workspace that we work out of. It's just the spot, yeah.
With this album, we really just wanted to try doing a full album at home for once. And also just the comfort of working with one of our friends. You know, it's like we've known Steve for so long. We've come up in the scene together. It's like Steve is hands down best person to work with in Cleveland.
Yeah, I mean, a project of this magnitude is definitely a completely different animal than just knocking out a song or two. I kind of went into this, I don't want to say blindly, but just like we kind of developed the songs together as we recorded them almost. Between me and Aaron and my assistant that kind of like helps with tasks, Mike Skinner, who's been a huge help on this project, and you know, a couple other people along the line have just been really helping out so that we can focus on very specific things and we're not wearing like 10 hats at once. It's definitely been like a unique experience for me, and a huge part of that is just the process of me doing my thing with the band, just recording the songs, focusing on performances and takes and stuff. But then, you know, Aaron was across the room with his laptop and we would just be airdropping back and forth, you know? And it was like, and that was a cool experience for me because, you know, we'd be working on something and Aaron would be like, oh, I hear something, send me that. And I would airdrop it over to him and he would just be like on his headphones in the corner of the room, like doing his thing, and would send me something back. And it was this like crazy cool sound that I never would have thought of that kind of changed the trajectory of the song in a cool way.
You just made the sound.
Somehow. And like distorted the shit out of it. And it's just, I don't know, I love it. It's like, it's so cool. And I think it's just like, having it on that first hit is just like, it's so cool. With all the reverb. Yeah, it's like a trumpet, but also like feedback, but also a synth. It's just a weird ass noise. Yeah. And it like doesn't hit super hard. It kind of like,
Yeah, it swells.
yeah. You can turn it up a little. It's cool as hell.
Steve is a super, super important part of the process. Especially we touched on, like, this isn't necessarily the type of music that I'm making, you know, on a day-to-day basis. So having Steve there to, like, bring his expertise when it comes to working with rock music and, like, really locking in the guitar tones and, like, being able to record drums. Like, I don't know anything about recording live drums. I could never do that on my own. So that's like, Steve has made it to where I can come in and work on a project like this, because all the parts of recording live music that I haven't fully wrapped my mind around, that's like where Steve comes in and he knocks it out of the park, you know?
I want to capture performances that have energy and feel real and feel organic, but are the best possible representation of that. Every step of the way, whether it's like a drum performance or a vocal take or something, I definitely want to push for like the best delivery or the best tone, and not really cutting corners anywhere, but at the same time not over editing or anything that's going to make it feel like you're not listening to a band anymore.
Where are we at?
We're out here in Brunswick, 30 minutes south of Cleveland. Setting up some guns, getting a fire going. Shooting downrange at the gong. Just collecting some samples, you know. Got a couple rifles here. We got a shotgun on deck. I've got my 9. You know, any great record, you gotta get gunshots. Like, everyone's out here. You know, people love to layer in gunshots into albums and like really make some parts hit. Like, one of the microphones we're using is actually housed in a shotgun shell, so it's very fitting. We gotta go analog. We gotta, you know, it's like we could go on Splice and get sounds that have already been collected, but we're like, we want this to be us.
With that scope.
You good? Oh, your forehead.
Oh no. How's your face feel?
Oh. Got too close.
Oh, bro. I had a buddy's 300 Win Mag, had an awesome scope on it.
These are for a gift. You have to keep them.
I can't.
To remember the album by.
I can't accept this gift.
Come on.
This is I can never accept.
Here,
such a
Steve,
gift.
I got you a gift, bro.
Oh, dude, I've been secretly doing them when you guys will.
This is an album that I really, really, really hope people listen to from start to finish. I know everybody says that about their album, but like this album, I really want people to click play at the beginning and listen to the whole 30 minutes. 10 songs, 30 minutes. It's an easy
30
listen.
minutes on the dot.
30 minutes on the dot. I think it's a really beautiful project.
The whole point, in my opinion, of like writing an album, it's like you can write an album or you can write, you know, a collection of 10 to 12 singles and just put them, it's a playlist. I feel like every track has something to offer and stands on its own in a sense, but it also doesn't just feel like a random playlist. You know, I feel like there's like an overall vision and ideas
It's
that
cohesive.
and it's cohesive, and there's themes throughout that kind of reoccur throughout the whole thing and makes it feel like its own project.
We made memories that like I'm gonna remember forever, and I'm glad you got some of those on video so I can fucking watch this back when I'm old, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, those are parting gifts.
Parting gift.
Alright, drive safe. Thanks, man.
We're gonna go back to my apartment, to our apartment. Aaron's gonna grab his stuff, and I'm gonna drive him back to Goshen, Indiana. And
I get to sleep in a real bed?
yeah, and then
Not on a love seat?
not on a love seat or a deflating air mattress.
Yep.
And yeah, then that's a wrap.